Hey, everybody. I got a little buddy here on my shoulder. This is Tina Lorenz, and I just wanted to check in with you today. And we can even make this guy blink, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's almost, ChatGPT is almost like having this little guy that's kind of like hanging out on my shoulder when I'm working on some things. And I have to admit, damaging admission, that when I first started reading about AI, I was probably pretty skeptical and not the most positive about what the possibilities were for people that were writing marketing copy and doing your communications and all those things. And I'm here to say, hand on heart, that I've changed my mind. Okay, and maybe you will too as you start fiddling around with it. Now, I'm not going to say that ChatGPT should write all your marketing messaging and create everything, and that you're just kind of absent from the whole deal, or that you don't need to know what really makes effective copywriting, what really makes compelling copy, what are the standards and the foundation. You need to know that to be able to leverage the power of ChatGPT to its best ability, and that you're still part of the equation, that you're still at the party, and that you're not just absent from the whole thing. I'm sure there's people using it that choose to be absent. That's not me. Maybe that's not you. But I want to show you something I found today because, well, for one thing, let me just dial back to the beginning of this day because I'm working on creating a new program that I'm super excited about. And just kind of came to me in the last few weeks of, yes, I need to really do this. And so I've been thinking about it a lot and doing a lot of kind of that meditation work and contemplation, writing down ideas. And I had an idea for the name of it. And I was kind of weighing out two different things, thinking this or this. And I was like, woke me up like at 3:30 in the morning. Does that ever happen to you? Where the inspiration hits. So I'm just, and it starts to get light really early in Arizona. So the starting to approach just the beginning glow of dawn. And I'm looking out at the mountains, and I finally just said, "Oh heck with it! I'm not going back to sleep. So I'm going to get up and go into my office, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT for its opinion on this." So I open it up. I use the paid version, so you get ChatGPT 4, which I highly recommend. It's way better than 3.5. And so I just started having my conversation of what I was thinking about with the names. There's a lot that goes into this that I'll continue to talk about on some of the other videos that I'm going to do. But for now, just know that you need to give it really powerful context to work with. You need to go deeper than the obvious. It's really largely also has to do with the prompts that you give it, what you're actually saying to ChatGPT to give it something to work with, and know it doesn't have a memory. So you have to establish that context every time. So at any rate, I did all that and I said, I'm thinking about this, or I'm thinking about this. What do you think? And it started to give me the whole outline of how I could use these two ideas and literally merge them into one by adding one word that I never would have thought of. Honestly, I never would have thought of it. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Because I wanted something edgy. I wanted something that catches your attention. I wanted something that didn't sound like everybody else, all of these things. And it gave me an idea. And so then I ran with that idea and I put together the headline, not the headline, but the name of the program with kind of the subhead of the name of the program. And I've been working on this for the past couple of days with ChatGPT, and it's given me an entire foundational outline of how the modules would go and help me with the naming of them, the naming conventions for them. And I don't know if 3.5 does this, but in 4, ChatGPT 4, the paid version is how you get that $20 a month. It literally gives you, like, it listed out by number, gives a really nice looking presentation back to you of the thoughts that it's sharing with you, bold certain aspects of it. And you can do a lot of things very quickly as far as research also. And I have actually, okay, sometimes it might make mistakes. I've seen a few mistakes in the spelling a couple of times, but also if it's giving you research, one of the other things I recommend is that you take a minute, go open your Google search or whatever, and verify, check on it. So it gave me a few statistics of, I wanted to know a word origin and where did this go back to and this type of thing. And it helped me with research about that. And I then verified it by doing a separate search. And sure enough, that information came up. So don't go by face value on some of these things. It's still developing. We're still learning. I have a lot to learn about all of this, but do verify, take a look and make sure that you're getting accurate information. So today, while I was going through my email later this morning, it's been a long day, I got an email that I subscribed to, and I noticed something brand new about it. And there was a way to test subject lines. And so I want to show you exactly what I found. I'm going to show you a little video where I take you through the process, because I think you might be interested in doing this because they're using ChatGPT to give you additional ideas for your subject line, assessing the level of what your subject line is as far as effectiveness, and if it meets kind of the common email standards. There's so many things about how your subject line should be written in an email, because your subject line is like a little tiny headline. The whole purpose of the subject line is just like for a headline in the rest of your copy. Get the person to open your email. Read the next line. That we just want to bring them through the door. That's what your subject line needs to do. And there's lots of tips and strategies to use, like don't use too many question marks, too many exclamation points, don't write them all in caps. And if you're wondering, should I use emojis or not? Is that too immature or childish? Absolutely not. And the place I'm going to show you has actually done the data and run the testing to prove that it's absolutely true, that using an aligned emoji, a smartly chosen emoji, and guess what? ChatGPT can do that for you too. But using an emoji, especially at the beginning of the subject line, can increase your open rates as much as 10, 15, 20, 28%, depending on what's going on with your message and all of that. But make sure that it's related. Don't just have a random emoji, and don't overuse them. But it can be very effective. And sometimes I use just a purple ball, little purple ball, just because purple is one of my branding colors, you may have noticed, but it just gets someone's attention, right? Or you can use a check mark or a star or a starburst or the flame, but just make sure it has some kind of relationship. And I'll show you some examples here in just a minute with the rest of your subject line. A couple other tips: starting a subject line with numbers can also increase the open rate. These are all backed up by data. I don't have the percentages right in front of me, but starting your subject line with numbers, starting your subject line with one word, all in caps, starting a subject line with personalization, the person's name. All of these things can increase your open rates, capture the attention. Because I don't know about you, but if I even just check my spam folder, my junk mail, if I haven't done it for a day, I have something like 500 to 600 emails in that folder that I have to get rid of. And so I actually empty it out several times a day usually. So, but that's just the junk email in a day. And so your prospects, the people that you might be wanting to communicate with, are bombarded with email messages. Email, though, still overall still rates very, very high as far as the functionality of it, the effectiveness of it, of getting people to see your message and getting in front of them, getting eyeballs on what your message is. So right now we're going to take a look at some ways that you can learn to improve your subject line writing using ChatGPT. So let's take a look. And it comes from subjectline.com, one of my favorite areas to get data, real life data about what's going on with emails. And when I got to the page today, I found this of subject lines tested. Let me get this going right here. There we go. Over 15 million subject lines tested, the #1 free subject line rating tool. And look at this. Now they're using ChatGPT integration. I'll show you exactly how it works. So it's free. You can do the first one absolutely free. And then after that, they do ask you to opt in. So your name, your business, your email address, that type of thing. And after that, you can use it as much as you want. So let's take a look. Gonna get a headline for you. So these are email subject lines, right? And we're going to get one here and just plug it in. Save a little time here. So hurry, only 3 hours left with your emoji of the clock. You hit evaluate. Let's see what happens. Tick, 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 tick. We play the, goes pretty fast. 100 out of 100. And oh, look, this one scored really well for containing multiple special symbols or punctuation. Includes one exclamation mark, contains number, contains non-round number, so 3, 11, or 24, contains emoji character, contains punctuation, and then, kind of fun, down here, Captain Open, their little ChatGPT robot, is in beta, and it's going to give you here's the original subject line, more fun, TikTok, urgency, 3 hours left to get 50% off, tactic change, 50% off your purchase, suspenseful, only 3 hours left. And so you can test those as well. It gives you some alternatives to test, and you literally can plug them right here and test them, okay? And so just out of curiosity, let's hit refresh, and I'm going to do some things that you shouldn't do in your subject line, if I can talk and type at the same time. So let's see how this one comes out. and if that's good or bad. Oh my gosh, it still gave me 100, but it did take off 5 points for 3 or more exclamation marks. I'm surprised that it scored that well, actually. First word capitalized, it actually said, oh, that's good. And so this is all based on the testing that they do on email. So here's some suggestions from Captain Obvious or Captain Open. Hurry, only 2 hours left, 2 hours left, get your party on, 2 hours left. And they literally use more than one exclamation point, which I would always say not to do. And you have 2 hours to save the world. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's pretty suspenseful. So I'm trying to give it one that it won't like. So let's see if we can come up with that. How would we do that? Yeah. Let's try that just for the heck of it. All caps. Let's see if I get in trouble for yelling. So here we go. 92. Okay. So it docked me for points for too many exclamation marks. Needs subtle urgency. Whole subject line in caps. Contains capitalization. But they still I managed to get a 92. So let's see what else it does here. Okay. New music important. Here are the latest from your favorite artists. You won't believe what's coming. You hear it here first. Did I say here? I did. I didn't even spell the word right. Okay, so let's try some other ones. Okay, so I have some ready to go here just to keep things interesting, and we'll plug that in. The thing is with ChatGPT, there's a lot of things you can do now to just evaluate, to do research, to get some ideas from. This one got 100. Needs subtle urgency. So it feels like I still need some. So it docked me for 14 points. But all the rest of this scored very well. Multiple symbols, includes word you or your, contains emoji character, contains punctuation. So, you're going to get different answers, different evaluations based on what you put in there. And then their chat GPT is giving you some additional ideas of what you could do with that headline. And once you start doing this, I got to tell you, it's a little tiny bit addictive because you just want to see. Let's try one I wanted to make sure I put in something with a number that asked a question. Let's take a look. What's happening with your subject lines these days on your email? So let's evaluate. 272 people agreed. Do you? Let's see what it does. It gave me 100. Needs subtle urgency. I'm not exactly sure how they want that to happen, So we can look down here. Over 270 people can't be wrong. They agreed to you. They put a clock with it. Only 8% people know this life-saving hack. Well, that could be a good one. Let's see how that one does. I can't remember exactly what it said now, but only let's say only 8% of people over. Let's try this. No emoji this time. Let's just see what happens. And we'll evaluate. I want to see if it thinks that there's any kind of urgency here with this one. Well, it gave me 100. Look, they did consider that to be urgency, so I didn't get docked for that this time. Contains a number, contains non-round number, contains punctuation. So the thing is with this, you're really going to learn about how to have a better subject line for your email as well. So it's not only just kind of fun to play with, it's really that you can really increase your skill level and your knowledge about how to do that. And this is just another area where ChatGPT is helping you move faster, for you to learn something, to kind of do some research on what's working and what isn't. There's so many ways that you can use ChatGPT to do some of these things for you. And that's what's really kind of cool about it. I'm finding it to be kind of another thing that's I'm really depending on to do research. And I did some this morning, and let's try another one. I did some this morning for a new program I'm going to do. And it came up with a really good idea for the name. I had kind of a name, and it came up with the rest of it. It's just like, oh, wow, okay, I would not have thought of that on my own. So again, we got 100, but see, again, needs subtle urgency. So let's see what their suggestions are. You won't believe what's on sale now. Hurry here. Go save big. And notice I use a $sign for the S because just as a little eye-catching kind of detail, not an emoji, but just kind of get your attention, right? And so this is how this works. Let's do one more because I'm having a hard time saying goodbye to this. Let's try this. Okay, we're gonna go here. If I can walk and chew gum at the same time, can I talk and cut and paste and type and all that at the same time? I'm not sure. Okay, so look, this one only got 98. So it's saying it needs subtle urgency. It does have an emoji. It does have punctuation. So here's the ideas of the crying emoji. Uh-oh, sorry, we're out of toilet paper. Oh my gosh, yes, that would be an emergency. Uh-oh, sorry, your package may be delayed. And so again, their AI says that you can only do 25 of them within 15 minutes. Well, it wouldn't be too hard to do that, but it's plenty of time to test your headlines. So what kind of headlines do you have that you'd want to test in here? You just go to subjectline.com right here, subjectline.com, and you should be able to find this. And it's pretty darn cool. So let's do one more thing. I'll give it one more. I don't think I did this one yet. Let's try it. I don't think we're being redundant. Congrats, you're in for the Q&A. Let's see what's happening, because I'm doing a Q&A this week. For the Q&A, it still wants subtle urgency. But look at all these other places that said yes. Okay, so multiple special symbols or punctuation, and that would be the ellipses at the end. Includes the word you or your. Includes one exclamation mark. Use of Unicode character. I guess that's the emoji. I don't even know. Contains an emoji character, and contains bookend emojis. Where's the bookend emojis? I don't know. Contains punctuation. And here we go. Here's the suggestions. Congrats, you're in for the Q&A. You're in for a treat. You're in for the Q&A. You're in for the Q&A. And they made a little A there, just as a tactic change. They did a lowercase a. That's interesting. So I wouldn't have thought to do that. It's just a way to get people's attention in your subject line. So that's how this works. Again, subjectline.com, really a great resource for updates every week on what's actually working, what kind of things you could include in your subject line, what things not to do with your subject line. I find it super helpful. And that's exactly what I found for you today is how you can be testing your subject line. So give it a shot. See what you think. Try out some of these subject lines in your emails and see if that improves your open rates and how that goes for you. So what do you think? Do you think that this would be fun to try? Because it's free. Give it a shot. And also, what are your questions about using ChatGPT? When you want to just use it as an adjunct, as a tool, I actually almost feel like it's part of my team now, that I use it for something every single day. No one's more surprised than me about all of that turn of events for myself with my thinking about it. And I highly recommend that you start thinking about it like that too. Because you need to keep up. If you're doing anything with marketing, if you want to communicate with people online, you at least need to understand some of the basic tenets of it without getting into a big debate about good, bad, evil, what's going to happen, all those things. Obviously, we don't want to see all of our copy and content created by artificial means. But if you can use it as a boost, if you can use it as a jump starting for your creativity, as I talked about the other day, hey, that's got to be helpful, right? So I would be really appreciated if you are enjoying seeing some tips about how you can use ChatGPT in your business, especially as it pertains to your marketing messaging. Let me know in the comments. And if there's a specific thing you'd like to know, I mean, I'm just learning myself, but I'm happy to find out for you or tell you if I'm already doing it. I've got some ideas for you about how to write headlines with it and how you can do that so much faster. Anything that can accelerate your business, accelerate your progression so you can make those quantum leaps forward in your life and in your business. It's got to be a good thing, right? So again, thanks for viewing, and I'll talk to you again next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hey folks, thanks for sticking around. If you'd like more of this great content, check out these videos on the page. And if you're new here, be sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And I'll talk to you again soon.